Hello, everyone. I am Camille Miller. Thank you for joining us on NLBP today for our member spotlight with Carol Wilk Johnson. She is part of Wilk Benefit. She's an independent insurance broker for Wilk Benefits, and she has recently taken up CBD oil as a part-time distributor. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how she helps people. Thank you, Carol, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Camille. This is I've been looking forward to this since you reached out. So I'm thrilled to be here.
Terrific. I kind of am too, because I have lots of questions. So
okay, great.
Hopefully it won't be too much, but all good. So tell our listeners first how you got into the CBD oil. I know you a little bit more personally, so I know the story a little bit and about your background, but I want you to share with other ones how you got to this point from being an insurance broker.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I've always been a big fan of hemp to begin with.
Okay.
I feel like our country can be doing a lot with hemp opposed to using, trees for paper. Let's use hemp, opposed to using cotton for clothing, which, there's so many pesticides that are involved with cotton, whereas there's like none of that with hemp. So I've been a big promoter of hemp to begin with. I think we can do, and even like the plastics industry. I mean, there's a whole other facet of hemp aside from this CBD portion. But anyway, that's kind of what led me to it. And I was, starting to hear a lot about it. And what really prompted me with all of this and to start taking it myself was my lack of sleep. And I read that CBD is wonderful to assist with sleep. Now, everybody's situation is different. It works a little different for everyone. Some people have to take more or less. Some people, unfortunately, don't have any satisfaction with it, but most people do. And I definitely was one of them. So that's kind of really what led me to it. And I started doing a little research on the companies, because there's a lot of them out there. I mean, if you just look up CBD on Google, you're going to get, 20,000 different options. So I started doing a little research. I found HempWorks. They are an organic company. They're local. The hemp was grown in Kentucky. There's nothing else in the CBD aside from hemp oil, and that's it. There's some other companies that have used like olive oil and coconut oil as the delivery system for the CBD, and it's not necessarily, it is not the cheapest product in the world. So I don't want to necessarily have to pay good money for olive oil, and that's delivering CBD. I'd rather get the pure substance of the hemp. So anyway, that's kind of what led me to it. And it really wasn't a big additional cost to become an affiliate. And I thought this would be another way to A, make some money for myself, but B, also, which, we all have to pay the mortgage, right?
Right.
But also to help people with it. There's so much information about, all of the different ways that it's helping people from, kids with, or people with autism, ADD, the post-traumatic stress disorder for veterans, fibromyalgia, Crohn's, RA, it just goes on, and anxiety. So, the list of ailments that it's helping is amazing to me. It's pretty incredible. So, that's why I kind of work with the insurance, is to help people, because it's a very challenging situation quite often. So I really feel like I am helping with that and making sure people have proper protection in place and all of that. Well, this is just another facet of helping people, with feeling good, feeling the best that they can feel potentially. So that's kind of really what led me to it all. And, again, I'm happy to talk about it today, and hopefully, get a little, more traction in the group and people, wanting to learn more about it.
Yeah. So to start off, my first question, and I don't know a lot about it, so this is kind of a learning interview for me as well, which most of these are for me. That's why I ask people to be on the show.
Okay.
Because I'm curious.
That's fair.
And I figure if I am, a lot of other people are. So let's get the information out there. So what is the difference between hemp oil and CBD oil? Is there a difference? Because now you're talking a lot about hemp products. Are they
Well,
two different products, or is one a piece or a derivative of another?
it really is. I mean, the CBD is extracted from the hemp.
Okay.
Well, there's the cannabis, of course, which there's marijuana that's from the cannabis, and there's hemp from cannabis. So it's almost
Okay.
like that is like citrus fruits, right? You have all sorts of different kinds of citrus fruits. That's kind of the same way it is with the hemp, basically, and so it's really a derivative of the hemp oil, the
I see.
CBD itself.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it a pure form? Does it react any differently?
It
Just
is. It's
kind of,
yes, it is pure. And no, I mean, how do you mean react differently?
is it so if someone was taking CBD oil, is this exactly the same, or does it have a different
Well, there's
reaction?
definitely different strengths,
Okay.
right? So certain, I mean, in HempWorks, the company that I'm working with has two different, well, three. One is for pets, which is a
Okay.
whole other avenue, and then there's the two levels. So there's a different strength. So it's really just a matter of how much of the CBD is in the bottle, basically.
Okay. And then how would someone decide if it's the right thing for them? And then how does dosage work? Because it's
Oh,
done in droplets, right? Do you take it
correct.
orally, or do you take it
Yes. It
on your,
goes under the tongue. The drops go under the tongue,
okay,
sublingually, I believe that's called.
okay,
And I mean, there are other companies out there that, have the gummies and
okay,
all sorts of other products as well. The HempWorks is not like that. I think the gummies kind of encourage maybe, because especially with the marijuana and having the gummies and the cookies, I think that kind of encourages children sometimes to be on taking those types of products, which I don't necessarily agree with that.
okay. Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
so yes, it just comes in an oil form.
Okay.
And a dosage, we recommend that people start out with, they say 5 drops under the tongue twice a day.
Hmm.
A gal that I work with, she actually tells people to only start with 2 drops
Okay.
because everybody's a little different.
Hmm.
I mean, when I was first talking about this with people, there was a UPS guy that I was talking with who, he's obviously working a lot, has a lot of back pain and issues and strain. He takes a whole dropper full twice a day, which is probably
A lot.
25 drops in a dropper full, I'd say, something like, maybe even more than that. So yeah, that's a good portion. And then you take it from there and figure out what a proper dosage is. I think I'm up to 15 at night is what I take for sleeping.
Okay.
And that's fine. I mean, some people need less. And I was taking about 7 or 8 drops under my tongue at night, maybe 9, and I was sleeping better, but it wasn't like better than when I had been taking melatonin. I mean, that's kind of also what led me to this. I used to take melatonin
Oh,
and it didn't really work for me. I still was tossing and turning, I don't know, 100 times a night, maybe, and it's
okay.
not like that. I mean, I get a much more restful sleep now taking it. So it's going to be up to the individual as to what level they're going to be at, but you start slow, as with anything, and you increase from there as you need it.
Okay. Now, tell me some of the ailments. Is it mostly for pain or just discomfort? It sounds like anxiety, things of that nature. Sleep would be a restful thing.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's a lot, but yes, anxiety, sleep, rheumatoid arthritis,
mhm.
even general arthritis or general stiffness. I have a friend there's also, well, there are some skincare products, but there's also like a pain relief cream that you can rub on an affected area that has the CBD in it as well. So you can put that on topically, obviously. With arthritis, the fibromyalgia, Crohn's, even like irritable bowel syndrome I was reading about. And yeah, because it's all of those types of scenarios are related to the autoimmune system and deficiencies. And it seems that CBD helps a lot with those autoimmune type of problems. So there's a kind of a whole laundry list that falls under that category.
Okay.
even autism, their kids are having people, I keep saying kids, but there's plenty of autistic adults as well as
Right.
children, obviously. But even some autism related testimonials where, you know, now it's not curing people. They're not, going from, 100 with a problem down to 0, but they're able to communicate better, which is obviously a big challenge for people with autism and for the families as well, right? That the kids can't really communicate well with them. So it's really been helping a lot with that, even like ADD as well.
So it sounds like it's really just softening or deadening the sensory system, making it a little quieter. Is that something?
I don't know. I mean, there's
Okay.
basically, I don't know that I would say that, but
Okay.
there's when they started investigating about CBD and how it affects the body, they discovered that there's these cannabinoidal receptors that are in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Much like there's an immune system and a skeletal system, there's a cannabinoidal system, which I don't think that was really known about until they started doing these testings on the CBDs and how they affect us. And so they've discovered these receptors in our bodies. So I think that's it's really, the CBD is working with those receptors to make the body function better and the
Okay.
mind.
Okay. What about children? Are children taking this as well? Does it matter? I know people that are giving it to their animals.
Yes,
So
absolutely. And yes, there's I don't know that it's for every child, obviously, but again, I think that the people I've read testimonials, I don't personally have any customers that are giving it to their children, but I've read a lot of testimonials that there are children, again, with autism
right.
and ADD issues and other health issues that they are. And I mean, I think it's just like with even an adult, you're going to adjust your dosage accordingly. And even cancer, they're talking about that, there are talks of the fact that it's shrinking tumors, which is just,
Wow.
yeah,
That's pretty amazing.
I know.
So is it an anti-inflammatory? Does it have those properties to it?
I believe it can, yeah, it seems to help with the pain. So I'm not an expert on this yet, Camille.
Okay.
I've only been doing this for a few months, but I've been reading up as best as I can and trying to continue to learn more about it. So, but I don't know that it's like an anti-inflammatory the way that you would say turmeric is. It just seems to, work well with the receptors. That was my computer dinging like that.
They all sound the same.
Yeah,
What do I do?
we're always connected all the time, right?
Right.
So, yeah, anti-inflammatory, I'm not quite sure, but I would say that it could be very likely because it seems to alleviate a lot of those types of pain issues.
Right, and that's what I was thinking. A lot of the things that you described are all inflammatory issues, so maybe it has that property to it. So what is one of the most common questions that you're getting as people are discovering that? I see questions all over the internet. What is this? What is that? What is being used?
I think mostly what you just said, but what is it? Am I going to get high from it?
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to get high. There's no THC in it. It's removed. Well, it's not even in it. The THC is really in, like when I spoke about the cannabis and how hemp is one derivative of the cannabis and marijuana is the other. So the marijuana is the one that has the THC and the hemp does not. So there's no THC. You're not getting high. It just, I feel great.
Well, the calming part of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It does tend to quiet your mind a little bit if your mind is racing a lot. I have a friend who's taking it. She's like, it just makes me, she's like, I can feel my brain going. She's like, I take some CBD and it just stops it.
Yeah. That's kind of beautiful. And that explains like the restfulness and the calmness to everything. So
that's a big question, Camille, about is there THC? Am I going to get high? That's probably the biggest question that I have from people.
Yeah. And let's talk about the laws around this. So hemp oil, the CBD oil, this is legal nationally, right? There's no problem anywhere. If you get it, how you distribute it, anyone can take it.
It is true. That is correct. I don't know about going out of the country, but and now there was I'm just looking at some notes that I have. There was a 2014 Farm Bill, changed the legal status of hemp in the U.S. forever, which basically was allowing they were allowing the people or companies to remove the CBD from the hemp. But unfortunately, at that point, there was still a lot of hemp that was coming from outside of the country.
Understood. Yeah.
You know, doesn't necessarily thrill me because you don't quite know for sure what the guidelines are when it's coming from other countries. So they've been growing it here for a while, and whether that was legally or illegally, I'm not sure about that. But I do know that, you know, we had the Farm Bill that happened in December of 2018 that was passed, the hemp bill that actually now allows hemp to be grown here in the U.S. Thank God. So, I mean, I'm sure there's still going to be some regulations regarding that, and you know, who's to say that, you know, somebody thinks they're growing hemp or saying they're growing hemp, but maybe they're growing marijuana instead. I mean, that's all going to possibly change with this whole potential legalization that might be happening of marijuana and everything throughout the country. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it is very legal, and you can get it. You know, unfortunately, you can get it in like a Krauser's if you wanted to, or, you know, Wawa, but I don't know that I would trust those brands necessarily.
Right. Understood.
Yeah.
And I had a question that was in my head. What was it? Testing. So I discussed this with one of my daughters taking it for one of her things, and said, you know, this is definitely an option for you if you want to think about it. And she plays a varsity sport in high school. And she's like, Mom, I might test positive for a drug. Do these oils test positive?
Well,
or does it come?
I'd like to say no, but I have heard like there could be the most minute trace, because there is like a 0.02% of THC in it. So, and that's what's being tested for when they have drug tests. So
I didn't know that. Okay.
I'd say there's no THC, but it's the very tiniest amount that I think, and I hope that they're going to start changing the standard of the drug tests because, you know, because of this. So, I mean, even on the HempWorks, which is the company I'm working with website, it says that you're okay.
Okay.
But, you know, I wouldn't want to put somebody in a situation where I go say, no, there's no problem. And then, you know, they're tested and there's a minute trace of something and it causes them great havoc in their life.
Yeah. I think you'd also probably be able to say, this is what I'm taking, and it's completely legal.
Right.
That was the way I looked at it when she came with that question. I was like, yeah, but it's legal. So.
You know, but they are saying on the website that it's not going to show up.
Okay.
I'd love to do one. I should do a drug test. That's something for me to.
I think they're over the counter now.
They might be, yeah, because of Paris.
I think you can buy them over the counter now. Yeah.
So that's something for me to consider doing and just see how it shows up in my own, you know, to see if in fact it does show or not. And then I can come back to you for an update on it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right. I think that's pretty much all the questions I had about it. Is there anything that I'm missing that you wanted to tell us about?
Let me just look through. I mean, it is legal. There's no THC. We're going to see more and more of it, I think, because it's doing so much for so many people. There's no guarantee. I have to say that.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's always a disclaimer that's involved. You know, everybody's body is different and how they react to something is different. So there's unfortunately no guarantee.
There's not with medication either.
That's true.
Like Sudafed works for some, does not work for other, you know, like
right.
Same with,
this can be used for pets. It's a lower dosage. So that's, you know, something I know that there's, the pets have, there's dog biscuits as well as the oils. So I have a few people that say their dog, you know, did a lot better with arthritis, especially like shepherds.
I've heard that too.
Shepherds get the arthritic legs.
Mm-hmm.
So it does work for pets. And as you mentioned about animals, a gal that I work with at HempWorks, she was just at a big horse show. So they're actually giving it to horses now as well.
Okay.
So it's not just for dogs. I know you can do it for your cats as well. The company has been tested. I mean, there's all sorts of information, and I'll send you my website so that you can put it in the notes. People can go on and check it out. These oils have been tested for their purity, so people can feel very comfortable and confident that it's a very pure product, and you're not getting any other junk mixed in with it. But that's I guess really all I have. I mean, there are opportunities if people are interested in potentially becoming an affiliate so that they can make a little money and help people as well. That's something that I could certainly speak with them about also.
So if someone wanted to get in touch with you after this launches, what is the best way to get in touch with you?
Just call my cell phone, 908-581-2086. It's always better to have a phone conversation, I think. I mean, I get it that we're all busy and we like to text and email or whatever. But to me, a phone conversation and, an inflection of a voice and, hearing, just kind of getting to know somebody a little bit on the phone goes a long way, I think.
Okay. And you mentioned that there is a website that they can look up and find you there. Or can they contact you through the website as well?
Absolutely, yes. It is hempworks.com/CarolJ99. But again, I'll send you that, and I guess you put it in some notes.
Yep. So if you're listening to this later or seeing it on YouTube, if you look in the notes below, sorry about that. That's live for you. We will post that into our notes so you can contact Carol with any questions you might have or to help her out with an affiliate. All right, Carol, I think that's about it. I want to thank you for coming out and talking with us today and giving us a little bit of information about the CBD hemp oil. And hopefully we'll do a follow-up in a little bit. And maybe, I think over like each year and stuff, we're going to just know so much more. And so much is going to come up. So it'd be interesting to kind of do a follow-up what we've learned as time passes us by.
Great, wonderful. And I look forward to that. And I thank you for putting this together.